Firstly, I want to congratulate you for taking the first step to learn AI automations. As someone who built 200 plus AI automations to business owners successfully up and running, I decided to step back and teach you everything which I've learned. And I want to teach you the popular automation tool called N8N. And this is a full course where I will cover as much as foundations as possible. If you watch without skipping the entire full course, by the end of this video, you will have all the knowledge to create, customize, and sell AI automations to business owners successfully. I will also put the captions in a description or in the comment section where you will have easy navigations to follow through. I want you to do one thing and one thing only, which is hit the like button, save this video, and subscribe. Alright, welcome to full course N8N, and this is gonna be an entire full course which you never have to go through any other tutorial, because I'm gonna teach you step by step A to Z, 0 to 9, enter everything. Now bookmark this video because you cannot watch this in a one go. This is gonna be a long tutorial, maybe 5 or 7 hours. I don't know how many hours it's going to be, but I'm gonna teach you end to end and you don't have to watch any other tutorial on N8N. I'm gonna also make a video on make.com, so let me know in the comments. So with that said, so you wanna go to the Google and type in N8N, and here we're gonna sign up. So click on n8n.io and it's gonna take me to this page. Now keep in mind, there are some things which you need to do, which is go to the product, and here you can see the templates, and you take it to the new tab, and here I want you to bookmark this. I want you to bookmark this because this is gonna be too much useful whenever you're selling an automation, selling AI automations to, or running an AI agency, and you want automations on the hand, right? Because we have, this is a good thing about N8N, we literally got 4,500 templates, automation templates. Not only that, whenever you even create custom automations, you can add it right here and sell it for users. Now there are some N8N workflows which are listed as private. Well, when I say private, in the sense which means they are paid. Now let me just look at one of the paid examples. So let me just see. Okay, now if you click any of the templates, what you can get here, use it for free or use it for you want to pay a certain price. But right now it's a free, and if you want to import it, you just click on use for free and then it's gonna be imported into N8N. But with that said, let me go back and start make register, like I have to sign up for this. Now I'm gonna go here. The good thing about N8N is you don't need to put any credit card information or whatever. You can literally start for free. So I'm just gonna click get started for free. I'm gonna go here and fill the details and sign in, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, all right, now I'm inside the N8N, and here it's asking me a simple type form, which is really collecting my information, which is fine. So what is the size of your company? Only me. So let's go. What team are you on? I'm just gonna go with the marketing, and then what best describes your company? I'm an automation agency, and then you can fill up. It doesn't matter which of these do you feel comfortable doing. Let me go here, configure API authentication, and then click on OK. And how did you hear about N8N? I'm just gonna go with the YouTube and click on submit. By the way, if you want, you can sign up by going the link in the description. There'll be a link called N8N and you can get that. And it's asking me what apps do you plan to use. Now I want to use all, because I want to teach you every single thing. I don't want to miss out on anything. Select one or more and continue. Okay, cool. Let me just go with Google Sheets, Gmail, HTTP request. I'm gonna be using AI agent, OpenAI, Google Gemini, Anthropic, and then Google Drive. Airtable is really important, webhooks, and then Discord on Notion, and then code, send email, schedule trigger. Okay, invite team members. No, I don't have any team members to invite. Cool. Now my workspace is ready. Now the onboarding to N8N is really good. They even gave the video to watch, a quick guide, which is really cool. Now I'm just gonna explain you one by one. Alright, now that we are inside, and here are some things which I walk through and give you an overview of N8N Dashboard. Now, right now, you can see at the top, 14 days left in your N8N trial. This is gonna remind you. So this is gonna remind you how many executions are still left. Now, at the moment, you can perform 0 to 1000 executions. Maybe in future, whenever you're watching this video and signing up for N8N, hopefully it would have increased. But by the time I'm making this video, it's a 0 to 1000 execution per free trial, which is really, really good, right? You can do a lot of things. And with that said, we have this overview. We can see the productions, executions, and failed, product execution, failure rate, time save, and runtime. And we have the workflows, credentials, and executions. We can, if I click here, if you want to start a workflow from scratch, you can go here, click on it. If you want to test a simple agent example, you can click here. This is a new one. This was never there. I think it was recently added. And then we have got the try a workflow, no setup needed. So I'm just going to teach you from scratch how to create from scratch. But after watching this video, after watching this full course, you will be familiar with, importing automations and, tweaking the automations. But right now, let's learn how to build from scratch. And then we have got the overview right here, giving you all the data right here. And then we have got the personal information, which is, it's just like organizing, like, you can also click on plus and create workflows and credentials used for creating the access to the apps or software. And then we have got the project. Literally you can organize need structure, and we have this creative workflow, which you can also create a folder and add it to the folder. Nice little organization you can do right here. So with that said, let me show you an important thing, which is our admin panel. Now in an admin panel, you can let it load. Okay, cool. Now, nothing really important, but I want to show you something which if you go to the manage, you will have the N8 version, which is, as of now, it's the latest table. And you can go to latest beta if you want to, test their beta program. If you want to go inside the beta program and test. But if you don't want not test it out, you can literally be in a latest table. I mean, this is literally for advanced N8N users. So as we are beginners, we don't even need. And if you want to upgrade, you can do from right here. If you want to cancel your billing, you can go here and cancel the billing. If you want to export to different N8N account, you can do that right here. So with that said, that's it. I'm just going to go back to the N8N. So let me just go back. Open an instance. All right, cool. So we literally right here, and then we have got the template section right here. So template, if you click on template, is going to take you to this, which is we have got 4,593 workflow templates. Right, some of them are free, some of them are paid. Now you can also filter it out through sales, AI, IT ops, marketing, and then support, documented. Now you will get a lot of. This is like a very good community, and I like this guys because the community is too strong right here. You can literally see right here, summarize YouTube videos from transcript, dynamically generate a web page from user request using OpenAI, structure output, analyze landing page with OpenAI, and get optimization tips, and send multiple emails in Gmail directly via Google Sheet, add new customers. There are literally many, there are countless, you can see right here. So as of in AI, right, is the organization. In AI, it's we have got the 2,700 automations. So I'm just going to go back, and then we have got the insights right here, and then help and what's new, and that's it. The main important thing what you need to do is somewhere you should see. So let me just cancel that. All right, good. So we have got the variables. So set of variables can be used to store data that can be referenced easily. Okay, it's just like variables. Okay, database. Now if I go to the insights, and I can see basically what I see the information in our overview, this one. So let me just go here and click on start. Now I'm really excited to teach you from scratch, guys. Come on. Drop a comment, N8N full, awesome N8N. Drop a comment, drop something nice. Okay. Now if you're in Windows, right now I'm in Windows, so I should press the control to get the hand signature right here, and then I can move it along right here. And then I have also got the minimap right here. I can click and I can take it right here. I can see where I am on the screen literally, and also I can zoom in. So if I click control and then scroll the mouse, zoom in and zoom out. So this is the first step, and basically we have all these options right here. So I'm just going to explain you one by one. First thing first, you have this personal. Now let me just name it something else. Okay, cool. Let me go inside, and we have got the workflow name, which is test scratch. Okay, first workflow. I'm just gonna rename it as first workflow, and I can also add the tag right here. So I'm just gonna hit tag, and I'm going to tag it tutorial, and that's it. So I'm just gonna use, whenever I'm making a tutorial, I'm just gonna put in a tag. Nice little organization going on right here. And then we have got the execution and evaluations, and then I've got the editor. Now this is all I'm gonna teach you in a future, in the video, later in the video. And then we have got the active workflow and inactive workflow. So this is going to be useful when you didn't have any manual trigger, and it's not going to be, not manual trigger. If you don't have any manual trigger, you can, set it as inactive. So if the entire workflow is good enough to run, you can, set it active. And then we have got the save, you can save. And then we have the important thing which I want to speak about is the version control, which is, if you made a mistake, if you created a workflow and if you made a mistake, you can click right here, which has a time symbol, and you can literally go back, and I can see the last save right here and previous one. I can literally switch between different versions. Now this is like a GitHub. If you're familiar with GitHub, this is what happens. It's like a time machine. You can roll back to different versions. Now remember, whenever something happens, some data breach happens, and hackers delete the data, how do you think the companies retain data, they get back the data? So it's the same, like they keep the version controls up to date. And then we have got the three dots. If I click on three dots, we can duplicate this workflow. So let's just say you imported a workflow and you made the changes and you want to duplicate that and create another different set of workflows. You can do that by literally duplicating, and then you can download in a JSON prompt, JSON files, and send it to your friends or people who need help in automation, or to your clients. And then we have got we can also change the owner, rename it, import URL. You can literally import any of the JSON, and that's literally what we're going to do in the last part of this video, which is importing the automation workflows from 4581. And then we can also import a file, and then we have got the settings right here. So if I go to the settings, usually you don't have to worry about this. Basically you don't have you don't have to care anything about it. And then we have got the GitHub if you want to rate it, or if you want to get their version control. And then we have got the plus sign right here. If I click on plus sign, it opens up the very important thing, which is same thing happens when you click on add first up. Okay, so you can also search the notes, and these are the important things, so I will talk about it. And then we have got the sticky note if you want to add in notes. And then we have got the open focus panel, and then we have got the ask assistant. And if you they have this new feature called AI assistant, which is you can if you have any problem in running automations, or successful in an unsuccessful executions, then you can ask AI what's happening. Where is if you're not familiar with what's happening in the workflow, if you don't know where where you made a mistake, you can literally ask to AI. Now AI has access to reading and writing writing the data inside N8N. With that said, let's just add the first workflow, which is, I'm just going to explain you one by one, which is a trigger manually. Now, this is something when you want to manually run the execution. Now, let's just say, I'll give you scenarios. So let's just say I want to post a reel to my Instagram, or I want to tweet a Twitter. I want to write a post and post on Twitter, then I can click here. One way to do is I can trigger the automation manually, which is what it means, trigger manually. And I can also let me just click on this and events. I can also trigger the events. One second. Okay, on app event. So yeah, so basically trigger manually is I can manually click on run. You will have a run button right here and then run the whole workflow. And the second one we have is on app event. Now on app event is something which I find very useful. Now let's just say I will show you one example, which is a on new Airtable. So let's just say create a record. Let me just go back. Okay, cool. Now, okay, why when clicking on execute workflow? I don't want this. Okay, cool. So let me just explain basic overview of this on app event. Now, whenever a record, so let's just say your leads come in running through meta ads, and then the lead fill in the form, and whenever they fill in the form, the database will be stored somewhere, right? Now, how do you think whenever you fill the form, now you might have filled the form before and you get an automation, right? So how do you think those happens? Now it's called something called on app events. Now it doesn't mean that it is happening from N8N, but it can happen from anywhere. But the idea is this: when somebody does an action, it runs the flow when something happens in an app like Telegram, Notion, or Airtable. Now in this case, I can give you an example. I can set it up meta ads, and whenever a lead form fills, the lead captures, whatever the form captures, it will be put into Airtable, which is a database like, and then I can create automation. So when something is created inside the Airtable, I can run the automation. So it can be emails, it can be custom instructions, whatever. So that's the thing. Now let me just show you one more thing, which is on schedule. Now if I click on schedule, right? So I have something called trigger intervals. Now I can do it for days. I can, days between triggers, midnight, a specific hour. I can even trigger at a minute. You can also add a new rule, right? So I can also do this with seconds, or let's just say I want to run Instagram automation in every single hour, right? I can put here every 8 hours, a trigger should be done, every 8 hours, right? So it's going to continue performing the task every 8 hours, which is really cool. And it's really, really useful to not get spammed. Now we're going to use this. There will be some use cases. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, if I click on plus sign again, and then we have called very important thing, which is a on webhook call. Now on webhook call is something which you see, which is very popular in apps, in payment apps, whatever. So in this case, now you can understand what the webhook actually is. So let's just say somebody visits the URL, right? Now it's something, now as of now, this is the URL. Now let's just say somebody goes to this URL through this. And then when somebody does that, I can also get, post, and delete, patch. Well, we don't need this, but we'll mainly be using get and post. So somebody visits that, I can trigger automation, which is too good to create automations. Now it is the same thing. So whenever you make a payment, how do you think the Razorpay or whatever payments capture that it is success or failed? It's using webhooks. When a certain prospect makes a payment and he goes to the next page, he goes to the new URL, and it's gonna create a webhook. And webhook always listens. Like webhook is listener. It's active listener. So whenever creates payment is made and went to this URL, I can the payments will trigger it as a successful transaction. and that's how you get notified that, right? Now I have a lot of things which is on submission, on form submission, and when executed by another workflow, on chat message, when running evaluation, other ways. You can also click here and see whatever MCP server trigger, which is a really important. I'm going to talk about this in a later in this video. Email trigger, email error trigger. Error trigger is also a good way to create handle the errors. And then SSE, we might not be using this, but yeah. So I'm just going to show you some automation, and then I have forgot to tell you this on form submission. So let's just say on form, right? So form title, so test, and then test. So add a form event, so name, and then name, and then execute this step. And when I click here, it's going to open up a new window, which is, so if I type here, so let's just say RJ, click on submit, and then close this, and you can see the data is stored right here. So that's that. So let me just go back and delete this. All right, so this is a basic overview of N8N. So I hope you watched this video till here. Let's take a break, and let me take a break and come back to you. All right, let's first build your first workflow. Now I'm just gonna open up the N8N. Now here right now you can see we are inside the new N8N workflow from scratch. Now here, let's just build the first automation workflow, which is manually sending email to someone. Now I'm just going to add the sticky note right here. So you can literally add the sticky note by clicking on the right side. You can see the little button right here. It's called add sticky note. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click and write something called as send an email. Okay, cool. We will send an email via manual trigger. Now, in order to send an email, we need to connect to Gmail account. So make sure you have the right Gmail account before you sending an email. Now, since it is a test, so I'm just gonna use it on my own, using my own Gmail account. Now, with that said, let me add the manual trigger. First thing first, you want to, before sending anyone, you want a manual trigger because you're literally sending it, right? You do not have any events to perform, to make the triggers, right? I mean, you can also run it that way, but let's just, as a beginner, let me just explain this way. Let's just start with a manual trigger. Now let me click on it, and we're going to get the trigger workflow here. Now when I click on manual trigger, we're going to get this object. Now here it says, you can see the fast track symbol. So when clicking execute workflow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the same time, we're going to add what we need is a Gmail. Now action in app, you need to go to the, so let me just type in a Gmail. And when I type in a Gmail, let's click on the Gmail. Now you have a bunch of options right here. Now you can perform and manipulate all these actions right here, which is showing at the right side. You can literally add label, from adding a label, from simple actions to complex actions, which is replying to message. And you can also delete a thread or add a label to thread, reply to message, and trash, whatever. Now we're gonna perform some simple task, which is send a message. Click on send a message, and it's gonna open up a big workflow, which is a 2-window dialog boxes. Now here at the left side, you will perform, you will see the input actions you have performed. At the right side, you'll actually get a table. You'll actually see a bunch of objects in a table, but you can manipulate the data if you, that doesn't, it is not even necessary. So let's just go and look at what's in the middle. In order to send a message, the N8N should have access to one of the Gmail account, because how can it send? Like, it cannot send from their own server. It's against their policies. So we need to connect our own Gmail account. Now how are we going to do that? So simply add the credentials. It's going to ask credentials to connect with. Now I simply click here and click on create credentials. So once I click on create credentials, the best way to do is if you don't have a Gmail account and if you have a service account, you can go and set it up. But I would recommend you, if you're giving a services to your clients, then I prefer creating a mail account, which is a business email account, and create a Google account with that business email, and then sign it with a Google account with that Google service account. It's complicated, but what I meant to say is, if it is Google account, it would be fine because OAuth 2, it's always secure and every single thing. It's easy. It's just one click. Now you simply click here and it's going to open up a dialog box right here and click on, give all the permissions. Let me just select and continue. And once I perform the actions, you can see the connection successful. Now I can send Gmails. I can send the mails. Now here the second one is what we're gonna do with a send message. Now we simply send a message. You can also add label, drop, thread, whatever. So I'm just gonna keep it in a message, and here operation is to send. Now once I do that, we have the two information, which is to whom should I send. Now we already connected our Gmail account, but to whom should I send? Now it's gonna be my own email, so let me check. Okay, all right, rj@makemoney.com. Subject is gonna be testing. Hello from N8N. First automation. Hello from first automation. An email type, which is by default it's a HTML. Now by default is a HTML because some people prefer this automation to send as a newsletters, where it is in a HTML format, because email newsletters include images and videos, the URLs, so it's better to send it in HTML. But in order to send a simple text, you can just choose the text, and the message is going to be the main body of the email. So I'm just gonna write, hi Raj, this is automated first email from N8N. Thank you. And at the end we have something called options, which is add options, and we have all this thing. We can add BC, CC, just normal stuff, sender name, send replies to, reply to, sender only, attachment, and then something called append N8N attribution, which is, if I click here, you have something called turn off or turn on, which is append N8N attribution. Now I'm gonna show you what this is. So let me just send this first test email with the append N8N attribution. By default it will be on, and you will get to know what this is. And I simply click on execute step, which is actually a manual trigger, and you can see the input data which we have performed the action. And then at the right side we have something called table. Now these are objects, we have this ID, thread ID, and label ID, and usually it is it is there if you want to cross check, or if you want later you want this data or whatever. Whenever doing automations, then you need these IDs to identify specific message or email automation. And we have got all these three formats, which is JSON, table, and schema. Most people would prefer the JSON and schema, but anyway, you'll get to know. So let me go ahead and look at my automated message. All right, you can see this is the automated message, which is hello from first automation. Sorry, I got the spelling mistake wrong here. So we have got the from address, which we were we added credentials to the N8N, and then at the end Everything is fine, but at the end you can see something called this email was sent automatically with N8N. Now, why is this? Now, if you don't want this to be included in an N8N, you want to do something which is called turn on the append N8N attribution. Now, how are we gonna get there? If you go here, add options, and you'll find something called append N8N attribution. Now you have to turn it off. Most people, they leave it at default, and whenever people see the emails at the end, it's gonna say, the email was sent from N8N, and people, they don't know what the N8N. Some people don't know what the N8N, and they're gonna consider this is from, some random thing. The email is from random. So that's that, and this is your first automation. Congrats, you have literally created. If you followed along till here, and thank you for watching this. So you have created your first automation, and with that said, let's go back and create. Let's step it up. Okay, let's step it up. I'm really excited to teach you all these things, and you can literally do many things, guys, many things. And there's endless opportunities because N8N is absolutely, it uses webhooks, and it's really great. I mean, this tool is great. I cannot even, let me know in the comments what you think about this tool. So let's get to the next automation. All right, guys, we're gonna look at the second automation, which is, so let me just pull up a whiteboard. Okay, that is my APK. So let me just take the diagram. Okay, all right, cool. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a form, and in that form, when a user is fill that form, and the details should be sent to the AI model, and then the AI model writes an personalized email, and then the personalized email should be sent to the Gmail, and we're gonna automate this. Now, sorry, I'm using mouse tool, right? Now, it's a simple automation, which is user fills the form and AI checks the details and creates a personalized email, and then the personalized email, which is written by AI, should be sent to the Gmail. Now, let's just create the automation. So let me just copy this and paste it right here, and then control. Let me zoom in. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna create right here. Okay, cool, right? So we're going to take personalized lead email, lead follow-up. All right, cool. Now what we're gonna do is step 1, form submission. Step 2 is gonna be AI personalized email. Step 3, email sent. Okay, these are the steps. Now I'm just gonna remove this. All right, cool. Now this is what we need to do. Now in order to do this, what I'm gonna do is, let me just click on add, and here click on form submission. Okay, cool. We have the manual trigger, so let me just remove this, delete this. Let me just go here, click on the form submission. Okay, we have this form. Now in the form, right? So in the form we have this. So first thing first, the test URL is where the form submissions happen. So let's just say this is the URL where the form submissions take input, user input. Okay, now the authentication is gonna be, now I'm just gonna keep it none, and the form title is collect leads info, and the form description will be lead info. So currently there are no add form element. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to click on add form element, and the first field name is gonna be what is the name, and the element type is text. Okay, enter name. Just gonna add a placeholder. Okay, this is required. Click on another form element, and here I need email address because I want to send to their emails, right? And then the next I need this email data, so placeholder is gonna be email@gmail.com. So this is the required field because I want to send the emails. And the next field will be business name, text, placeholder. I'm just gonna type here business name, and then I'm gonna type here. So let me just remove this. I think I don't need this. Okay, cool. So we have got these three forms. Now respond when form is submitted. Okay, cool. Now I want this step. Now I can also add options right here. So I'm just gonna click up in N8N, and I'm gonna remove the N8N attribution and form path, ignore bots, use workflow time zone. So that's it. So this is so let me just test it out. So click on execute step, and a form opens up right here. Now you can go and add as many fields as you want, but I'm gonna leave it right here because I'm teaching you. I'm just gonna click here RJ at make moneyraj.com. Business name is make moneyraj, and then click on submit. Now once I click on submit, it is stored right here. Now I want to pin this because when I pin it, what happens is whenever I create, okay, let me drag this. Okay, when I pin inside right here, right? So I'm telling you why you need to pin this. Whenever I pin this, so let's just say I create a next module, which is a next workflow. The pin data, the whatever I'm pinning, because this is the first response, right? This is the first object. The pinned object will be appear in a next workflow. No, it will make sense once I do that. So let me just click on add. The next step is gonna be AI personalized email. Now in this case, we wanna go here, click on add, and here you can add chat. Once again, open AI. You can go with the open AI, or you can also go with DeepSeek. You can also go with, let me just type in a Gemini. You have all the models right here. I can also do the Claude, Anthropic, but since all the models API require some kind of billing information or whatever credit card, I'm just gonna go with the OpenRouter, which you can test it out for free, but at certain it's limited, right? So I'm just gonna show you how to test for free, but it's gonna be limited, so don't use it carefully. So I'm just gonna type in OpenRouter and click on OpenRouter chat model. Alright, once I do this, you have to go to the OpenRouter.ai. Now if you go here, what you want to do is click on modules, and you can select, all these models are not free. Now you can see the free here. So those are only they offer some credits. Now you want to go here and click on sort to lowest to highest, and all this you can use it for free. We have this GPT-OS 20 billion parameters. Now once you click on it, and you have something called API right here. Now click on the API and click on create API key. Now once you create the API key, you copy that, and do not ever exit the screen because they won't show you again. Once you copy that, click on add credentials, click on create new credentials, and here input the API key and click on save and see if the connection is successful. And once you do that, you have to select the models right here. Now I'm just gonna go here and see it will show you what are the models free, and you can do that. You can select. So let me just search for GPT-OS free. Okay, cool. So we have got the GPT-OS for free. And here, so you can also manipulate, you can play with these options right here. So I'm just gonna leave it like that and go back to the canvas. And here we have all this, right? So when form is triggered, I'm going to connect to this. Okay, so I'm going to connect on form submission to the basic LLM chain. Now here what happens is double click on it and here connect it to the chat trigger. So what happens here is you have something called on form submissions. You know, left side you can see the data right here, which is when chat message received. Execute previous nodes. Okay, why is it showing? I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, cool. Now if I double click, we have got the input data inside. Inside the input data we have on form submission and then variables. We don't want to care about variables, but what we need is on form submission. Now remember what I said to pin the data. If I don't pin it and go back and go to the basic chain, now it will still be accessible to you, but if there are many things, then you can see right here some kind of cautions showing here because of the changes in the workflow. Output data may change when this node is run again. So we want to pin it. It will show you, it will tell you node will always output current data instead of executing, doesn't apply to production. Now we want to pin it because we want this data to be sent to another node, which is in this case, in this workflow, the basic LLM chain, which is we are personalizing email. In order to get the data to personalize, we want to send the data from this node to this node, and double click on it, and here you have all this bunch of options which looks scary, but don't worry, I'm just gonna simplify it. Now first thing first, you want to you have this option, right? Prompt user message JSON chat input. Okay, so the chat message is click on add prompt, and here you have to select the three roles, which is system, user, and AI. Now I'm just gonna explain you what this means. So first thing first, user is something, you can set these as roles. These are just roles. Now system is you are specifically telling how to behave, and user is what to how to write. So I'm just gonna click here system and right here you are export copy writer. Literally you don't have to do anything because I'm taking another extra steps, but yeah, you are export copy writer, export email copywriter. Cool. Add a prompt, and here add it to the user, and here the text is gonna be message type is text. I can also send the images, but yeah, we're gonna send text. The message is going to be hi. Personalize. Okay, I'm just gonna write the prompt, which is personalize this email with the following data, and ask it if those details are correct or not, and add a funny comment relatable to the info. Okay, let me just go to the expression, and here in the expression what we're gonna do is we're going to tell it here's the data, because in order to personalize it needs to have data. I'm just gonna type here name equals to drag and drop. Name is going to be to this, Okay, why did it went there? Relatable to the info, and here is the name. I'm gonna hit enter, so delete this, and then email is going to be drag and drop. Yep, that is the email, and then hit enter. Business name is going to be, I'm just gonna type in business name equals to drag and drop. Okay, all right, so that's it. So all I have done is select the use system. What is the system? It is a expert email copywriter, and then the prompt is gonna be, the user prompt is gonna be personalize this email with the following data and ask it if those details are correct or not, and add a funny comment relatable to the info. And here is the name and whatever etc. So I'm just gonna execute this step. And problem in node basic LLM change, no prompt specified, expected to find the prompt in an input p. Okay guys, I have made a mistake, which is instead of connect a chat trigger node, because I removed the chat trigger node. See, earlier it was some chat trigger node, right? So I just deleted it. So instead what you want to do is you want to select the define below, and here you simply click on execute this step. Okay, so what you want to do instead is click on define below, and once you do that, you want to give the prompt right here. So I'm just gonna take this, copy this, and delete this, and click here. Now once I do this, and batch processing, so here, okay, nothing there. And what you want to do is click on execute step and see if the output is correct or not. Now here you can see the output. If I click on logs here, you can read the whole message, which is, I can read the subject, frick, check-in. Did I nail link to details? Okay, I don't like this subject. Hi Raj, hope you're rolling in those extra M's showing from make fun. I pulled together the info you share so we can keep things running smoothly. Email, business name. Does that all look spot on? If there's anything that need tweaking, just let me know. I'm on it faster than the meme goes viral. Just a quick laugh. Try adding a money emoji to our email signature, but keep catching. But it's very bad. But I don't want the subject line, so I'm just gonna remove the subject line. Remove the subject line, or don't write subject line. And then click on execute. Yeah, once I do that, we have got this. So what I'm going to do is click on go to the output, and here you want to pin the data, because we want this data to be passed to the next node, which is going to be our Gmail node. Now since I'm already connected to the Gmail, I'm just going to copy and paste, and here I'm just going to bring it here and click on drag this to the Gmail, and that's it. We have got the connection right here. So double click on it, and we have all this data right here. Okay, now what we can do is, now here guys, you can see right here on form submissions and also the basic LLM chain. So what I'm going to do is, we have all this details already filled in, but if you want to even spice it up, what we can do is remove this, go to the expression, and here go to the on form submission and take this email, paste it here. That's how you automate it. That's how you automate it for bulk emails, right? But if you want to send to the one user, you go to the fix and type in your email, and then go back to the basic LLM chain, and here I want this body, remove this body, and then I want this body, I can drag and drop right here. Now it auto converts to the expression. So the text, an email type text, and here is the subject. I'm just gonna change here, reconfirm the details, and confirm the details and execute this step. And once I do that, let me pull my email, and 1 2 3 go. I've got the email, so let me just show you. All right, you can see right here. Hey Raj, I pulled together what I know so far. Raj email address. Now you can also customize this. Okay, so there's no ending thank you or warm regards right here. So this is it, guys. This is it. So this is how you use even API for free and automate it and test it out and show it to your business clients, like how you're gonna do it. So I'm very excited how you're gonna use this opportunity. But however, the open router has some, limits, right? The limits, I don't know what the limits are, because I'm not even using this over. I'm using it for first time. But yeah, guys, I always forget to tell you, because whenever you're using another chat models, right? So here, let me just go back. So let me just go here and click on the. Let me just type in OpenAI. Okay, let me just take this. So if I go to the settings, I'm sorry, not the settings. Yeah. So if I go to create new credentials, and here, if you want to input, if you created a key from open router and you want to input right here, what you want to do is you want to do another thing, which is change the base URL, which is, if you come to the open router documentation, open router OpenAI, the model, and here you will see the documentation right here. Under the OpenAI Python, you will see something, you will see everywhere, but you want to look for the base URL, and you want to copy this v1 version 1 and go back to whatever the workflow you're using, whatever the credentials you're using, and here you have something called base URL, and you want to change it, because we are not requesting the data, requesting the API from, what was it previously, OpenAI, API.OpenAI. We are not requesting from here, but rather we are requesting from OpenRouter.ai, which is very crucial to change. Otherwise, you will get an error information. So that's it. And close. So let's look at the next automation. Welcome. I hope you have enjoyed till right here. So I have teach you a ton of stuff. So I have teach you all the things you need to know in order to set up a simple workflow automation. Now let's just understand, I'm going to teach you something different, okay, with the same workflow. So let's just say you want to show it to your business owner, not production ready yet, but you want to send it to business owner, and you want to send a URL. And so let's just say you are cold approaching in Instagram DMs, and the business owner asked, what did you create so far? And you want to send a URL. So you're going to send him a URL, and he will click on a URL, and it's going to open up a form. He's going to fill in the description, details about his business. And after 5 seconds or 10 seconds, let's just consider, 50 seconds. Okay, after 1 minute, he's going to get an email, follow-up email to his inbox, talking about his business and asking, getting personalized and asking more about his business. So how are we going to do that? Now we're going to do that by simply adding a wait time. There's a wait module. Okay, you can add that, and then in the middle of the agent, AI and Gmail. Now we're going to simply do that, and we're going to make it wait before it's sent to the Gmail, to whatever the email address filled in a form. Now we want to tweak something in a form, so let's just go ahead and do that. All right, now we are inside the N8N, and you can see right here. So I'm just gonna to zoom in a little bit, and here, so as I said, here what we're gonna do is we want to add a wait. So click on it, and here just type in a wait, and you will see this. Click on it, and it's gonna be added inside. Now here we are getting the 3 variables right here, which is resume after time interval. Okay, cool. So we have all these options, but I'm just gonna keep it after time interval, and wait amount is it is in seconds. So if I hover, okay, it's in seconds, so I'm just gonna increase it to 20. Okay, we'll just wait half a minute and then wait unit. Okay, you can also tweak this minutes, hours, and days. So if you're writing follow-up emails, then it's better to go for days. Each day, 1 email. And we're just gonna go back, and the time module will be right here. And then we have got the form. So let's just go ahead and tweak the form. So double click on it. And here, this is the URL which you can take and send it to anyone. And we even have the production URL, but we cannot tweak this. But this is used when you actually go here, activate this, and it will be activated. The whole workflow will be activated, and you can run anytime when the form submission is triggered. But we are not activate, so we're just gonna use the test URL as of now. Now here in the form, I just need some more details. So here I'm just gonna ask, so the information we are getting is name, email, business name, and we need something. We will gonna even make it personalized by adding a description. So it's going to be business description, business details, and the type will be text, talk about a business. So it's gonna be talk about a business, and this is a required field, and what project do you want? What project do you want? I'm just gonna type here. I'm just gonna make it a text, and type your project required, and then this is a required field. I'm just gonna go to another field, which is time period. I'm just gonna let it text, and I'm just gonna type here duration of the project. All right, cool. Why am I getting the spelling wrong? All right, cool. Now I'm just gonna put it required. So here I'm just tweak the information, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy this URL, and now I'm just gonna unpin this because we don't really need, and back to canvas. Okay, cool. Let me just check one more time. Yeah, go back to the canvas, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on execute workflow. Now here you don't have to need to, one second, let me cancel this. Okay, I just copy the URL, so you don't have to need to go and run one by one. You just click on execute workflow. It's going to trigger all these things. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up in a new tab. So let me just go to the new tab, and here I'm just going to put this URL and click enter, and it's going to open up. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now as you can see, since this is a test production test URL, we can see this is a test version of your form. But if you take it into a production URL and put it, make the workflow active, then it's not going to show here. So don't have to worry about this label in case if you're worrying. So I'm just going to go here and fill the details. My name is RJ at makemoneyproject.com. Business name, it's Make Money. Business details, I have a coaching program to teach people how to get clients for N8N. What project do you want? Run Facebook ad campaign. And the time period is gonna be around 90 days. Now I click the submit, and that's it. The form is submitted, and close the form. And here So you can see the form is submitted. We have got the tick mark right here, and then it went into the chain, LLM chain, and you can see right here wait. So it's gonna wait something like, so what is the seconds we have given? We just gave 50 seconds. So I'm just gonna refresh my email. All right, cool. Now let me just check the email. All right, I got the email. So let me just show you once again. Open a new window, drag. All right, cool. So here's the email which I've got. I pulled together what I know so far. So we have got everything. Okay. Oh my God, I missed the details. Let me just go back. Let me just cancel this. And let me just go back to LLM chain. And here I just need to tweak this mode. So let me just back to canvas, form, pin it. I'm just gonna pin it to get access to the next module. And here I have access to the next module. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to the prompt. So I just forgot to add something here. Business details. Business details is gonna be the business details. I'm just gonna drag and drop. And here, project is gonna be what project do I want. And the next line is gonna be the time period. And then I'm just gonna drag the time period, which is in my case 90 days. And here I need to tweak some information, tweak this prompt, which is okay. Now analyze the info and create a plan. Create an overview of what you would do for the business details provided and project and time period provided, and send it via mail. Should be personalized. So that's it, and done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to execute this workflow to make sure unpin output data. Yes. So before you execute, it's gonna override. I already pinned the data, so you don't have to worry about. So I'm just gonna click on logs and see what we can do. So nice little information we have got right here. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is too good, guys. This is too good. So I'm really excited. So I'm just gonna go. I don't really have to, pin the data. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back here again and click on text. Okay, copy the URL. Let me just copy the URL. Let me just copy this URL and go back and click on. So whenever you want to send a form, send a workflow to your business owners, what you want to do is, what you can do is just simply click on execute workflow, and you have literally copied the URL. Okay. No. Just stop. I should unpin the data. Okay, all right, cool. Now let me just click here and click on execute workflow. Now I have got the form right here, so I'm just gonna cancel this. So let's just say you go into the Instagram or Twitter or wherever you're communicating with the client. Just send this URL and ask him to fill the form, and he's gonna get a personalized plan. Now you're just gonna pitch him. Hey, I already created a workflow which you really like. I mean, you can test it out. It's a production, it's a production ready. But yeah, you can test it out before it's going live on your website. Now, what we can do is I'm just gonna send him and simply ask him to fill email. So I'm just gonna type here fill. Email is gonna be something, but in my case, to just show you, I'm just gonna type my own email, and business is gonna be interiors design business details. So I'm just gonna type I sell interior design, like you know. Okay, I sell interior designs. And what project you want? Run a Facebook campaign for 90 days and get leads. And time period is gonna be 90 days. And I'm just gonna hit, okay, let me just make this. All right, cool. Now let's just say business owner is in interior designs and he's just gonna fill the details and just click submit. The form is submitted and he just go back to his mail. Now you can see the workflow is actually doing the work. Now let's just wait 50 seconds or half a minute. And we're going to see an email which I'm gonna show you, which is gonna be with a personalized plan and custom plan fit to the business owner. And let's just wait and see. I should have made the wait much more shorter. Okay, we have got the email. So let me just show you 1 second. Guys, one more thing, the emails are really fast and it is not going into the junk. Now, since I'm inside my Messenger email, it's gonna be messy, but if it is, let me just see if I can view it in a nice. Okay, I cannot view it in a different mode. But all right, it's a HTML email, guys. Come on, it's a HTML, so it's messy. But if it is in a Gmail, it would look good. So we have got something. I'll pull together a quick overview of what I would propose for your venture. Now it even added the business venture. Here's what I'm thinking for a 90 days campaign. And you can see the element what I deliver, and we have got the entire plan right here. Quick check-in email, and it is even asking if this is good. Now goal 90 days campaign for lead generation, as that's the main focus. Or is there any KPI? It's asking additional details. Is there any KPI you are hunting? Let me know if you're got everything, if there's anything you'd like to tweak, and just in case the creative team needs a laugh, I promise these ads won't just paint. Okay, cool. Hope this helps. And cheers. Okay, all right, cool. Now you can also go and add this attribution right here. Okay, the ad name. It by default written expert copy email copywriter. Oh god. If you ever need an extra copy icon, yeah, just let me know. All right, cool. The email looks good, but you can tweak it in such a way. You can give a template to follow. I mean, however you write, you can give a bunch of templates to follow. It doesn't matter because it's always text. It's always a prompt. And this is it, guys, and this is the future of email automation. So we have created the second workflow, which is sending personalized lead follow-up, so which is a basic lead follow, and then how to send. Let me just title this how to send personalized emails to business owners via form fill. All right, now I just show you how to send personalized emails to business owners via form fill by themselves. Now this is something which I use when I need to pitch the business owners, which is I create a test workflow, send it the URL, and they test that, and they're gonna get impressed. And yeah, it will be on live on Zoom call. So yeah, we were talking, and he's just going to get a mail with this workflow, which is really impressive. And let me know, this is how you approach clients, how we create automations. So hopefully you learn something. If you learn something, drop a comment, something nice, and I will reply. Hope this helped you. Let's look at the next automation. I'm very excited to teach you more stuff, and this is going to be long tutorial, and let's just get into the next workflow. Gentlemen, the next automation is going to be a very cool one, which is what we're going to do is the bookings happen. So we're going to use Calendly or cal.com. So I prefer cal.com, which is very good at booking, all these things. I use cal.com. So we're going to use cal.com and autofill, send a personalized email and autofill inside the calendar. Now, first thing first, the steps is going to be just like this. So first thing first, a lead is submitted into cal.com. Okay. Now when the lead comes in, then we're gonna send AI personalized, once again, personalized email. Since we already have the Gmail already set up, so I'm just gonna drag and drop and make it the second step. And then the third step is gonna be create a booking event. Oh my god. Create a booking event inside. And you can use any CRM. No, you can use any CRM. The step is gonna be same, even if you don't know the step. So let's just say I don't know the step. I'm just gonna show you a fancy trick which you can do, which is really cool. Okay, because most of you cannot remember all the steps. N8N, you cannot recite all the steps, right? What you need to do, what or not. In that case, we're gonna use AI to assist it, and it's gonna be cool. So you're gonna look at it. But instead of CRM, because CRMs you need to set up billings and credit confirmation and all to use it as some certain features. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Google Calendar itself to create an event. Whenever the lead is submitted, it's going to be sent to personalized email, and then the booking event is created inside the calendar, so that we can open a Google Calendar app inside the mobile and check how many events came in instead of going to cal.com. All right. So first thing first, what we need is cal.com. Now head over to cal.com. So this is a cal.com. You can sign up using Google, or you can sign up with email too. It's up to you. Now this is a good and very sleek, very minimalistic calendar. Now I will also suggest you to prefer calendly.com. N8N has both. If I go here and click on plus, and if I type in a cal, you can see Calendly, and then where's cal.com? Okay, at the beginning we have cal.com and also Calendly. So you can use both, but I prefer cal. So whenever you sign up, this is what you need to do. Initially, it's going to ask you to connect to Google Calendar, but if you don't want to connect to Google Calendar, and I'm going to show you how to automate this instead of going. There are options. Okay, you can also connect to Zoho Calendar, which is a CRM. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you what this process looks like, and I'm just gonna click here. I'll connect my calendar later. Connect your video apps. Now I don't want anything because I'm just creating an event. Now you can do all this. Okay, cool. Now we have all this. I'm just gonna open Sunday, Saturday, and then next step and image. Okay, cool. Book a call for automations. Finish. And once I finish, so this is what we get. Now first thing first, I can literally create and share as many meetings as possible. I can simply type here create. Now I have this pre-made templates right here, so I'm just gonna click on one of this. So let me just click here. So we have got the title, which is a 30-minute meeting, and then quick description is gonna be a quick video call 101 for discovery to create automations, and then interface, language, visitor, browser language. Okay, cool. Duration, etc., etc. Disable. Okay, all good. I'm just gonna click on save, and then take it to the preview, and then if I copy and go to the new tab, go to the incognito, and then type here. So this is how the cal.com looks like. Now whenever some lead comes here and fills in the name, email address, oh my god, I'll just leak my email addresses. Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm just gonna blur it out. So we have got the name, email address, additional notes, and then I can also add guests and confirm the meeting, and then confirm the time, etc., etc. So I can do that whenever it is done. This cal.com should send the data to N8N, and then the N8N should personalize email, which is what we have talked about. And we're going to use the same Gmail node and copy paste right here. And then, at the final, we're going to send the API call to create a booking event inside the calendar. Now, in order to do that, we're going to connect the Google Calendar using Gmail. So first thing first, we're gonna set up the cal.com. Now simply type here, click on the add, and here type in cal. Now at the beginning you'll get something called cal.com. So click on it, and then you will get 4 triggers, which is on booking cancelled, on booking created, on booking reschedules, and ended. I want to create. I'm really interested in listening to bookings created. So I'm just gonna click here, and after that we're going to get some settings right here. So it's going to open up to add credentials. Now always you have to add credentials in order to use the module or node or whatever. Now I'm just going to click here, create credentials, and here I'll need the API key. Now in order to get the API key, you can simply open the docs, but however you can go to the cal.com, and here you want to go to the settings. So let me just open up my settings. Alright, cool. Open up the settings, and here you will have something called developer API keys. Now what you want to do is go to the API keys, and here you want to create your first API key. Now don't worry, it is free. You can absolutely create your API keys. Now name of the API keys will be test N8N. So let me just keep it. Okay, expiration date. Now it automatically expires in 30 days. Now let me just keep it to 7 days because I'm not be using this API key one more time. So I'm just gonna, okay, cool. So API key is created successfully. I'm just gonna copy this and go back to N8N, and here under the API key, I'm just gonna paste here and then click on save, and you have to check if the connection, credential successfully tested or not. Now you're going to get a, prompt saying connection tested successfully. Now with that said, go back, close this, and here you can select a bunch of events right here, meeting ended, meeting schedule, and created, cancel, whatever. But let me just show you, that's advanced stuff, but let me just show you what happens when a booking created. Now with that said, if I take it to the, let me just make it full screen, and if I click on execute step, now you can see at the left side listening for the test event. Now what it really means is whenever you put it in a production, it always will be listening 24/7 until you stop the flow. So let me just stop the listening and go back to canvas. So we have set up the cal.com. Now once we've done this, the second step is AI personalized email. Now what we want to do is click on the add button, and okay, I don't want to create something from brand new. I already did this. I'm just gonna copy this, copy and paste, Control V, Control C, Control V, and then drag it right here, and then zoom in and drag this plus button to the Gmail node. And if I click, okay, cool. So first thing first, I need details, right? So let me just go here and click on execute step, and here is listening. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this, and here what I'm gonna do is create a 4 p.m. and here some more shots, and then additional notes is gonna be I need automation. I need automations for my business. Okay, all right, cool. I'm just gonna click on confirm, and once I do that, I got all these details, but inside the N8N, we can see all this data right here, all these objects. Now, what we can do is we can, try to manipulate all this data, but we only require some of this, which is create start time and end time. So we're gonna take this into consideration and play with it. Now I'm just gonna pin this data to pass this data to the next flow. So I'm just gonna open up the Gmail node, and here I have, okay, 2. Now, all right. The Gmail account is already created. If you're not familiar with how it has happened, you can watch from the beginning. I have showed you from step by step, and result is gonna be the message. So, yep. So we're gonna send the Gmail. So once the calendar is created, so 2 information is gonna be, I'm just gonna remove all this because I want to send to the email the person who created the booking, right? Now here, if I really scroll down, and you will see the details. Now you can see organizer, but attendees. So this is what we want, attendees, right? One second. I'm sorry, not the attendees, but the responses. I'm sorry, my bad. So responses, response email, under the response, the data, this is the actual information which we need, because you can see all the, notes, and this is the actual user. I should have used, I'm sorry, my bad, I should have used a different email. So anyway, the to address is going to be from responses, and under the responses, you're going to get something called email. Under the email, you will have value. Now, if you're having difficult to find, you just simply switch from JSON to table, and here is gonna visible for you. You can drag and drop, or you can also switch from schema, and here you can see the responses, and under the responses, under the email, you will have something called value, and then I'm just gonna drag and drop the value right here. Now, just like that, we have got the JSON response email value. So that's it. Confirm, the subject is gonna be thanks for booking. Thanks for booking. I'm just gonna make it personalized. So how we're gonna make it personalized is adding a name. Now what I'm gonna do is under the responses, we have got the name and value. I'm just gonna drag and drop here. All right, thanks for booking, JSON response name value. That's it. All right, we have the email type text, and the message is gonna be something called hey there. Now I'm just gonna make it personalized, so I'm just gonna drag and drop the name again under the name value. Hey there. Hope you're doing good. Can't wait to meet you on day. Now, can't wait to meet you on time. Now, there's a catch here. Now, I want to tell him, I want to send an email which is too much personalized, because I want to know to when he booked the details. And if I know when he booked the details, I can literally embed right here, right? So if the meeting is on Friday at a certain time, then I can say, hey, hope you're doing good. Can't wait to meet you on this day or this time. So how are we going to do that? You can simply do that easily by looking at the start time and end time. Now, how are we going to do that? So here, let me just scroll up, and here you will literally see something called start time and end time. Now, what is really important is start time. So I'm just gonna drag and drop the start time right here. Now, usually you can see the message. So this is our thing, but the result, the user, which the very good thing about N8N is this is awesome. I can see what the user is actually going to get. So if this is what I have written in a message, then this is going to be the result. This is how it is reflected as an outcome. So, hey, testing for YouTube, which is a name. Hope you're doing good. Can't wait to meet you on this time. Now, this is really messy. Now, how are we gonna format that? Now, in order to do that, I'm just gonna simply type. One second. Yeah. So simply put a dot at the end of this prompt, and then you will get something to convert. You can convert. There's a bunch of options you can do. This is called something called JavaScript functions, and if you hover on everything, it will show you what it converts to. So let me I needed this because I needed this format. So to date and time, and click down once again, and then format it to. Now, right now I can leave just like this. You can see 25/8/14. Now it was good. Now this is good before, right? Then before. Now, in order to even more customize this, you can literally go here, formatting, click on formatting guide, and here it will show you a bunch of formatting guides which you can use. Let me just go and see let me just go and see for the day of the week. Okay, cool. 4E. Now let me just go back and literally remove this. Okay, remove this, and inside the quotes type in EEE, and you can see the short form right here of the Thursday. I can also add one more E, and I can also add only 4 E's to get the full full weekday name. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then the next is gonna be thank you RJ. So that's it. I'm just gonna click on execute this step, and once I do that, let me just check my email. All right, you can see I just received an email from, this email or same. I should have used the different email. I'm sorry. So hey, name, and I hope you're doing good. Can't wait to meet you on Thursday, which is a formatted date, and then thank you, Raj. That's it. And yeah. So the next step is gonna be, so what we have done so far is we have triggered the cal.com booking event, and then when a person books event, the data is sent to this node, and this node uses the data and personalize the email and sends the email. Now we have to do one more thing, which is we need this data to be passed to another node, which is called calendar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a calendar. Now here we have got the bunch of options right here. Get availability in calendar, create an event, delete an event, get an event, get many events, update an event. Now we are interested in creating any event because this is a new event, right? So before that, you can also check if the availability in calendar is no, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna teach you in further of this course, but let me just go with a create an event. So once I do that, it's gonna ask me to set up the credentials. Now simple, click on credentials and then sign in with the Google. Now, let me just do it. So alright, we have connected our Google Calendar with the OAuth successfully. Now I'm just gonna cancel this, and then we have successfully connected right here, and then it's gonna be from the list holidays in India, summer wallet shorts. Okay, cool. Now you can create this. It's inside the Google Calendar. You can open up Google Calendar and create a new calendar. So I'm just gonna put it in my email, and then you don't have to worry about this. And then so you have two options right here, which is really, really important. So the start time is whenever, if I go to the cal.com, you can see literally data. Okay, let's say you have the node data. So whatever the data is passed through the nodes, and the main important node which we want to is when the event is, when the person, when he want to book a call. Now in order to get that information, so you need to go to the cal.com node data, and then you scroll down and go to the, okay, at the beginning we have start time and then end time. So what you want to do is you simply have to, okay, let me just confirm if the start time 25/8/14. 25/8/14. All right, cool. Let me just scroll down and see if there is any start time responses and attendees title. Okay, cool. So this is the actual time. So I'm just gonna, take this start time and drag. Okay, I have to first remove this because by default it is, so it is called now in the sense it is a present time. So whatever the time running is auto creates to the time. I don't want that. I want whenever the user intended to attend the call, which is the start time in this case. Now I'm just going to drag and drop right here. That's it. And then we have the end time. So I'm just going to cancel this every single thing. And end time, drag and drop right here. So that's it. Use default reminders. That's it. And then I can also add a bunch of data right here. So let's just say if I click on attendees, I can drag and drop, go to the attendees and see number of attendees. I can drag and drop. I'm sorry. All right. So in order to, now this is simply a data. It doesn't do anything at all. You just want to know the start time and end time. That's really important. With that said, let me just execute this step and open up All right, we have got the calendar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute the steps. Okay, got it. I'm going to click on execute this step. And here we should get a good 200 response. So when I do that, and Let me just refresh this. Okay, so now you can see the title right here. So the booking event is created, and you can see this. We have all got this, invite link and all. I'm just gonna delete this, and I don't know why the title. Let me just rename this and put it as the title is gonna be bookings from. Okay, bookings from Cal. All right, now let me just go back and unpin all the data. So let me just double click and unpin the data back to canvas, and then here, so nothing there. Go back. Okay, we have got nothing here. So what I'm going to do is select the cal.com and run the trigger. Click on execute workflow, and it is waiting for me to create an event. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the calendar. So let me just go back to the booking details, and I'm just going to go to the bookings. Okay, I'm just going to go to the events and copy the link event and open in a new tab, paste. So the cal.com is currently listening, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the 15 and here 11 a.m. All right, I just filled in the details, which is RJ and my email address, which is a different email address, and then we have got the additional notes right here. I'm just going to click on confirm, and let me just close this. Okay, cool. So once I do that, and if I go to the workflow, and you can see all the automation has been executed, and we have executed this successfully. Let me just show you the email which I received. Let me just open up. Okay, let me just drag to this side. Okay, let me just go to the email. So I'm inside the Hostinger email. By the way, if you want to purchase the Hostinger, the link will be in the description. You can get. So I have got the two links right here, which is open in a new window. Okay, cool. Now I have got the email from the N8N and then 2, and you can see, hey Rod, hope you're doing good. Can't wait to see you on a Friday. All right. Now if I go here, one second. If I go to the calendar and then hit the refresh, and Friday you can see at 11 a.m. we have got the booking meeting right here, which is really cool. Now that you don't have to every time go to the cal.com to check the number of bookings, but instead you can literally open up a Google Calendar and check it out. Alright, so this is a simple automation which you have learned. So you might think this is this is not that complicated, but in order to go through advanced, you need to learn some basics, foundations. This is called foundations. With that said, let's look at the next automation, and I'm really happy to teach you all these things, and I hope you are enjoying and learning at the same time, getting so much of value at the same time. I hope you're enjoying this video and getting so much value from this video, and I would like to request you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the comment, hit the like button, comment something nice, and yeah, hit the subscribe button, because I'm just let people who really want to learn N8N for free, let them know that this video is available on internet and they can learn it for free. With that said, let's look at the next automation. Hey there, congratulations, you just finished learning basics of N8N. From now on, I'm gonna show you how to create a sellable templates of N8N on automations which you can sell to business owners. And these are the automations which I have currently sold and selling, which are really, really important for business owners in order to automate their workflow, maybe remove, maybe make the task easier. Now you're gonna learn very advanced things, and keep in mind to watch the entire video, step by step. You don't miss any part. I'm just gonna teach you. I'm also gonna teach you some JavaScript notations and JSON formats. So keep in mind to not skip any part of the video, otherwise you wouldn't understand. And with that said, if you're here till now, I'm proud of you for taking watching the whole 1 hour, or taking action to watch this whole course. I don't know how long it's gonna be, so hit the like button. Again, if you're a business owner, you can book a call with me. And if you need any help, if you're a student, or if you set up an N8N agency, or if you need any help how to outreach, cold email template, whatever, in order to increase your revenue flow, I'm just gonna help you. You can book a call. The link will be in the description. With that said, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment something nice, and let's get into the video. Alright, the next step, what we're gonna do is, from here on, we're gonna build a real sellable business N8N automations. So what I'm gonna teach you from now on is some real life examples, okay, which I've done so far. Now, the first thing you're gonna learn is how to manipulate, how to play with around JSON data, and how to, manipulate and add triggers and whatever, create events and etc. So the first thing which we're gonna learn is feeding leads data to AI to generate personalized emails, plus update into the sheets and drop the email sellable, which is a sellable. Now I'm just gonna write whichever is sellable, which means I have worked on with the business owners. Now the first thing, let me just open up a board and trying to teach you what happens right here. So let's just say this is a table, right? This is a simple table. We're gonna grab the table from Google Sheets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 1, 2, 3. Let's just keep it 3 rows, right? So we have C1 to Cn, and we have R1 to Rn. In this case, R3. So what we're gonna do is, let me just change the color. So the first thing first, we will be, okay, it's just too big. All right, the first thing first, we're going to grab the data. Now leads come in. Generally the leads will be there, the Google Sheet will be there, the data will be there. So I'm just gonna write D1, D2, and go on. It's on and on. Okay, so data will be there, and these columns will be empty. And what we need to do is, we want to grab this data and we want to feed it to the AI, and we want to create a personalized email according to the data and add update into the sheet. Now it's just gonna be subject line or personalized email, whatever, and we want to take the data whichever the AI is generated and update into the sheets, which means we are performing actions on a sheet 2 times in a per execution. I'm sorry for the background noise, but anyway, so we're gonna perform 2 actions on a per workflow, right, per execution. And once it has done that, we're gonna create another workflow, which is, so once it has done updating the Google Sheet, and with this thing we want to draft an email. We're going to draft an email, and we want to send it to our account. And the reason why I'm saying draft email, because we don't want to send directly to the leads, because we want to check if it is very well personalized or if it has some AI influence or not, which is why I put it in a draft. And after that, we can check and send the emails manually, right? So with that said, let's look at the workflow. So I'm really excited to teach you. All right, first thing first, what we need is, so let me just, we need a trigger, manual trigger. So I'm just gonna go here and add a trigger. Now, as of now, I already added the trigger. Right now you can see we have the submission form right here. But if you want another one, I can do that by adding another trigger at the bottom. You can see right here, just click on add another trigger and trigger manually. Now we have got this trigger. In order to get the data from Google Sheet, we need a manual trigger. So I'm just gonna click on plus icon and then type in as sheets. Now here you have access to Microsoft and Microsoft and Google Sheets. So I'm just gonna click on Google Sheets, and here I'm just going to get, click on get rows, because we want to get the data first in order to feed it to the AI. Now here I'm just gonna add the credentials. So here I'm just gonna go to Google Sheets. The first let me just go and give some data because I don't have the data. So what I'm going to do is go to the Google Sheets, and here I'm going to sign in. And once I sign in, click on blank. So here, let me just name it as testing for N8N. Oh my god. Testing for N8N. And the first name is gonna be, this is gonna be the first name. So always put in a camel case. Don't guys, in a data, do not ever, the objects which you want to access, do not give a space. It's fine, but it's just a coding preference. So I'm from coding background, so this is how I learned camel case. Last name is gonna be last name, email, and business name, business details, subject, message, email body. And that's it, I guess. So okay, cool. Business details. All right, now we have got the first name, last name, email, business name, business details. So let's just say leads come in and fill the data. So they're gonna fill. So let's just say the first data is gonna be Sahil. His name is gonna be Sahil Moha. Email is gonna be soha at gmail.com, and business name is gonna be interior design, and business details is gonna be running this business from past 5 years, collected just gonna write done 500 plus services in Delhi. And what else looking for automations currently. All right, the next thing is going to be subject. So I'm just going to leave the subject empty, both this field, because we want to update, we want to make this into personalized and update it. So next thing is going to be pages. Page at gmail.com. Now guys, you don't have to, this is just testing out real estate. Realestate.com. Real estate owner. Why is it showing the website? I'm just going to type here real estate owner and deals in land. Deals with people who sell land without realtors. Currently looking for automation, looking for people who can increase the leads. All right, now the thing is, we have to take this to email, we have to take this data and feed it into the AI and let AI write personalized subject and body for us. And then after that, we want to draft an email by grabbing the email and name and subject and body. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to create a workflow, which is, so I have currently created a Google Sheet, which is testing for N8N. And after that, is it saved? Okay. So after that, so I want to add credentials. So I'm just going to go here and click on create new credentials. And here I'm just going to select OAuth2 and click on sign in with Google. Now keep in mind, this is an N8N cloud. But if you're hosting, self-hosting, which I'm going to show you later in this video, in this full course. So if you're using, you have to set it up in another way, which I'm going to show you too. With that said, I'm just going to close this. And here we have got the resources sheet within a document. All right. And then we have got the get rows operation. Yes. And I'm just going to click here and it's going to show me all the, sheets available in my Gmail account, which is I have performed this keyword. By the way, I also do the SEO keyword research. So if you're a business owner watching this, if you want SEO automations, you can contact me, right? And then I have this sheet right here. I'm just going to click this. And then from the list, and here the list is nothing but a sheet. Now here I'm just going to choose the sheet one, which is, by the way, the sheet one is nothing but here you can see. Now most of the people who are into data analysis and all, they will create a different multiple sheets within the sheet document right here. So which is why we are currently in a sheet one. As of now we haven't created any multiple sheets, so I'm just going to select the sheet one. And after that we have filter, so I can also manipulate with the filter. So right now I don't need anything. And add options. Okay, cool. Output formatting. Okay, so we can also manipulate the output formatting, so that's really cool. So I'm just gonna execute this step and look at the data it brings in. All right, so now we have got the row number, which is 2 rows, and we have got the first name Sahil, last name Mohan, email, business name. Now you have to keep in mind the first row of any sheet, any Excel sheet is always the variables, and then below comes the values. Now if you don't know the JavaScript object notation, let me just break it down for you. So what is JSON? JSON is nothing but, there will be a separate column. So let's just say how we talk. So this is natural way of writing, right? Name equals to RAJ. So this is natural way of understanding. But computers, however, computer understand easily in JSON. I mean, they actually understand in a binary, but JSON is really cool. So the format of this JSON is gonna be just like this. So let me just change the color. And yep. So here comes, everything will be in a double quotes. So it's gonna be name and colon, and then RAJ, that's it, and close the bracket. So it's a variable and key. So these pair together. Now variable name pairs with variable key. So if I need to access this key, then I need to access for the variable. So so that's what's happening. So that is what happened right here. So first name, variable, and then key is Sahil, and then we have etc, etc. Now I can also go into the table and I can also go into the JSON. So this is what I was talking about JSON. However, if you have two, let's just say name equals to RJ and age equals to 24, and the JSON format of this is gonna be, let me just write it separate. Okay, cool. Name colon RJ, age colon 24, and I'm just gonna put the double quotes for the strings. Now for the number, I don't think you don't need anything for the number. So yeah, you don't need anything for the number. Now this is very simple. You don't have to keep in mind. So all you have to keep in mind is you just know that schema and JSON exist. This is the data, right? All right, I'm just gonna pin it to access it to the next node. Now the next thing is gonna be creating, personalizing email. So how we're gonna do that is by AI. Now in order to access AI, you can also go with OpenAI. But however, in the previous lessons, I showed you how to access the OpenRouter, because OpenRouter gives you a free API access. Now, as you can see, I have already connected the OpenRouter. Now I'm just gonna load the module. Now here, you need to select the model. Now whichever shows you a free at the end or the modules which you can access for free. Now we have this Quen for free, DeepSeek for free, and OpenAI. So let me just go for OpenAI. So there are free modules in OpenAI 2, which is GPT-OS 20 billion parameters, free. I'm just gonna select this, and here I can also, play with this max retries, timeout, or whatever. But as of now, I don't need anything. So let me just go back. This node must be connected to an AI chain. Let me just go back to the. Alright guys, now we want to set up an AI, so you just have to click on plus icon, and here you just simply select the AI, and here you can select whatever the AI you want to use, which is we have variety of, we can also go with the AI agent, Anthropic, Gemini, OpenAI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Open Router, which is in the previously I have shown you how to set up Open Router. So I'm just gonna select this, and once I do that, and what I want to do is, so I have to add the credentials right here. So as you can see, I have previously added the credentials, first automations when I was teaching you. So I'm just gonna select it. By the way, if you don't know how to add it, you can go back and watch it. And here model, and I want to tell you one more thing. The available models are not, these are not which you can use, because they require some kind of billing charges, and this is gonna charge you. But however, you can use the models which at the end that specify free. So as you can see, DeepSeek, and we have got the Quen, and we even have the Gemini, okay, Google Gemini free, and then I think Meta has, okay, Meta is almost free, and then OpenAI OS GPT-OS 20 billion parameters free. So I'm just gonna select this, and after that, so we have all this, frequency penalty, maximum number of tokens. You can also play with this, but yeah. With that said, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back to this node must be connected to an AI chain. So I'm just gonna click on insert one, which is gonna be AI agent. All right, prompt. So just gonna define below. So let me just go back and let me just connect to this, and then because it's gonna, all the data should go to the AI agent since we are accessing the Open Router chat model. But if it is OpenAI, it should directly connect right here, since we are using the third-party API system. So I'm just gonna go here, and chat model is gonna be from Open Router chat model. So that's it. Okay, we have the AI agent, and we connected the chat model, and we can also add memory and tool, but later in this video I'm just gonna discuss about it. So what we're gonna do is, for model is gonna be the GPT-OS free, and we have successfully connected the model. And here agent, we have the data. So as you can see, the pin data, right? The pin data from Google is visible in an AI agent, the next node. Now we want to get so already we got the row, and here we're gonna customize. Our aim is to get the subject line. So let me just open up, okay, subject and body according to this. We're gonna personalize this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to specify the prompt. What does tip say? Get a feel for agents without criteria. Okay, I'm not interested. So the prompt is gonna be, what I can do is require specific output format. System message. Okay, the system message to send to agent before the conversation starts. Okay, cool. All right, you are a helpful writing assistant who writes excellent converting emails with a clickbait subject lines and intro. So it should have an intro, and then personalized pitch related to business, info provided, and then CTA and PS at the end. Alright, now here we're gonna give a prompt. Now user message, okay, cool. Hello, how can I help you? Okay, alright. The prompt is gonna be simply like this. I'm just gonna copy this entire thing. I think I don't need this, I'm just gonna skip it. So I'm just gonna put it right here. You know what? I'm just gonna add the system message and I just copied this. Excellent converting emails. Okay, up to here, and then go back to the user prompt, write an email and paste the prompt. So I'm just gonna make this large so that it is visible for you. Now here, I'm just gonna teach you one interesting stuff, which is expression. Okay. Now if I drag this down, let me just drag it. All right. Now whatever we do here, okay, whatever we pull the data and we just the expressions, they're just the variables and all, is whatever the output is gonna be visible right here. Okay. So the results will be here. This prompt user message. Now write an email, clickbait subject outlines, intro, personalized pitch related to business info providers, the city and the PS at the end. Now I'm just going to provide the business name, all the information which is going to be our first name. First name is going to be the first name. All right. The second name is going to be the, okay, it should have been the last name. And then we have got the email and then the business name and then the business details. Subject. Okay, cool. I don't want the subject. I just need to put the business email in this place. Yep. And the business name is going to be here, and then the business detail is going to be here at the end. All right. The template, I'm just gonna write here. The template is going to follow this format. Subject. Intro, personalized pitch, and then the what else? CTA, and then PS, and then thank you, RHA. All right. So at the beginning, I'm just gonna write here. CTA should be subtle pitch to book a call with me for automations. All right. So that's it. I'm just gonna test the workflow and let's just see. Guys, you can literally tailor these prompts. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in a table, JSON prompt. We have got the output right here. So the output is, let me just open up in a new tab. All right, cool. Now the output is gonna be this. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. Where is this? All right, click on logs. Okay, cool. So we have got it. It has written for two people, the Sahil and also the Tejas. Okay, two users, right? Two rows. The first row. Let's look at the first one. Read what it wrote. The 500 dream spaces done, ready to automate in 2 weeks? Question mark. Sahil and Moha. Why is it writing and? I don't understand. Okay, intro. Hey Sahil, I'm Raj. I help interior design students like you cut the grunt work of outrunning 500 projects a year. Personalized pitch. You have built an impressive portfolio in Delhi over the last 5 years. Over 500 client jobs, gather tweaks that keep you busy every day. Yet, as demand goes up, the time you spend on scheduling, coding, communicating drags more and more of your creative bandwidth away from the projects that truly matter. What if instead of adding another to do on your plate, we automated those time-consuming tasks for you? Think of assigning small models workflows to handle repeat code. Okay, focus on stunning design. CTA. Would you be open to quick 15-minute call next week to see how tailored automation framework could save you hours every project? I promise it will be more potential than sales pitch. Alright, cool. Reply as if I'll log in a slot. PS. By the way, I already mapped out simple flow for your client onboarding that could cut your risk. I mean, this email is really cool. Let me look at the other email. You're hunting for streamlined way to attract more qualified answers. Okay, let's look for how modest investment in smart automation can boost your qualified list 2x and 3x. Okay, it's talking about ROAS. I'll give you a quick 15-minute demo, no pressure, just a conversation to see what's possible. I really love this CTAs, guys. Come on. Now, with that said, I'm just gonna pin the data so that I can be accessible to the next node. So here, the next node is gonna be our sheets again. Let me just type in a sheets, and inside the sheets it's gonna be update row. All right, cool. Now, in order to update the row, I need to map out in a weird JSON. Okay, let me just put it this way. Now, I want the thing here is I want the subject line to be as a variable and value. So how are we gonna do that? So let me just go back, and here's the key. If you want to do that, you just give a prompt at the end. Output format should be in JSON, like subject and body should be in JSON separately. So that's it. I'm just gonna execute this step, unpin and test, and now I should get the subject and body separately so that I can access. Let me just look at the table. Let me just pin it. Okay, now that we have this, but this is now we want to grab a subject line separately. So how we're gonna do that? So I'm just gonna explain you what to do. With that said, what we're gonna do is the Google Sheets account is connected, and we're gonna select the sheet which is going to be our test form N8N, and here the sheet is going to be the sheet one. And with that said, map each column manually. So we're gonna map each column manually, and so let it fetch the column. Now here the first name is gonna be something called, now we want to go back and get all the JSON form. Okay, JSON expressions. So I'm just gonna go back to get row, and here the first name is gonna be the first name. All right, cool. The first name is gonna be the first name. Get row in a first seed item first name. Okay, cool. Let me go and look for. All right, cool. Let me just delete that. First name is gonna be this, and last name is gonna be this. Email is gonna be the same email, and business name is gonna be the same business name. Scroll back, and business detail is gonna be the same business details, and then the subject line, which is add a column to send. The subject line is what we need. So in order to add subject line, we want to get from the agent. So how are we gonna do that? Now I'm just gonna give you a real life case study. Okay, Now I don't know how to, let's just think I don't know how to get the subject, how to separate the subject line from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the entire thing and screenshot this and go to the, let me paste the screenshot, and here I'm just going to ask, I want the subject to be separated from the whole thing. What is the JSON I should type? Okay, that's simple as it is, and it's gonna give you some code, otherwise it's gonna tell you what to do in the instructions. So right now your JSON is wrapped in a one long string, and that's the S under the text. That's why when you do JSON it gives a whole bar. If you want to separate subject from the rest so you can access, then I have to do, what I need to do is simply this, basically remove. So I'm just gonna try here, so just go back and try this. No. Then in N8N you can grab them by separately, like this sub JSON subject. Basically remove the at. Okay. Wrapper, instead make subject and body direct keys or at the top level the JSON. Do you want me to rewrite the JSON from your screenshot? Is clean format? Yes. Okay, cool. Do you also want me to break the body further intro, pitch and PS? Gives you a subject line. Okay, I'm copying it. I don't understand why. Okay, cool. You know what? Let me just go back to I'm just gonna ask it again. Paste the screenshot. Just showing me error when I pasted what you gave. So it's easy, guys. It's easy to debug. So thank you for showing me the setup. Right now in your update row sheet and subject, you're still pasting the whole JSON object. That is why it throws an error. Alright, cool. Use your correct references in updated row. So the key is don't paste the whole JSON into the subject field. Instead, keep the JSON structure in your AI agent's output, then call each property separately in a JSON format. Okay, cool. Do you want me to write AI agent's expression output so you can directly plug it and map correctly? Yes. So let me just wait. Let me just go back and go to the AI agent, and from now in your updated row, break the body into small pieces. Okay, I don't want anything, but I'm just gonna copy this and paste it right here, and go back to N8N and copy this prompt, and this is the user message I gave. User message. I need the subject and body to be separate JSON format to use it. Okay, I'm just gonna give the prompt. So it's just a simple, back and forth communication with the chat. So let's ChatGPT help me. Okay, it said, thanks for showing me the exact AI agent setup. This the issue is that even though you ask for AI, is still wrapping the whole thing inside the escaping the string. That's why you see, instead of clean JSON you actually want. Okay, cool. Here's how to fix it. Inside your prompt, update the last part where you specify the output format. Right now, you're saying output format should be in JSON, like subject and body separately, but you need to be very explicit. Otherwise, the model will still wrap in its text. Replace that with a. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna copy it, go here, and paste the whole thing right here. Example full prompt with your variables is gonna be write an email with a click by subject line, an intro, personalized pitch, and PS at the end. Let me just scroll back. JSON first name and CTA should be Sellable pitch to book a call with me. Output format must be valid. JSON, no extra, no explanation. Okay, cool. What you'll get back. Let me just copy this and go here and paste it as the whole thing. And then let me look all these details, and with that said, I'm just gonna write execute and pin and test. Do you want me to also rewrite the body intro? No. So let me just wait for it to load, and hopefully we'll get back to JSON now. Okay, why am I still getting? I'm just gonna write here. I'm still getting the wrap JSON text. So this is what happens, guys, if you don't have any API. So if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna use the OpenAI API. So I see exactly what's happening, even though you're telling it to output JSON, your agent. Just because by default, the AI agent node always wraps the response into a text field unless you attach an output parser. Okay, it is asking me to attach an output parser on your N8N canvas. Drag the output parser node, connect it after the AI agent. Choose JSON first as a parse type. Then instead of working with the text, you'll directly get a JSON text. Now in your Google Sheets, you can update. Okay, cool. Let me just, if you plan to expand later, do you want me to show how to split the body into separate JSON? Okay, cool. Now let me just go back, and I have this output parser. And here, let me just remove this and click on tool, and let me just select, copy this and go to the AI, and here I'm just gonna paste it. Which one should I select? Guys, the reason I'm doing is because I have never used the open router. I'm using it for first time. Structure output parser. Okay, cool. Click on the structure output parser, and that's a one build for use case, telling AI to return data and how to set up, drag a structure and connect it directly after your AI agent node inside it, define your schema you want for this case. Now when you run the output, strip away the keep it clean. Okay. Alright. Now let me just go back, and here let me just run this. Okay. Structured output parser. This has executed 2 times, and then if I go here, open the Google Sheet. Yep. There we go. We have solved it successfully using AI thanks to ChatGPT. Now what I can do is, so I have mapped all the results. The reason we are mapping all these details is whenever this is actually updating a row, which means if you simply, let me just go back. If you simply do not mention this, then all this will be empty, like it will update to 0. So we are just mapping out, right? We are just mapping out. The subject is gonna be drag and drop. All right, and then the body is gonna be the body, right? Now that's it, and it should be perfect. Column to match on. Column to match on is gonna be email, because so why we are using the column to match on is email, because only emails can be the unique. Names can be same, last names can be same, emails cannot be same, business names can be same, and business, you can also use the business details, but yep, email is the one of the conventional way, and it's gonna column to match on and update. With that said, let me just execute the step, and I should see the update in a workflow. Now when I do this, as you can see, we have got the entire update. Now once I do this, the next thing what we're gonna do is go back and click on add here. Now we want to draft an email. So in order to do this, let me just type in a Gmail, and here click on the Gmail, and here let me just select a draft, create a draft. Click on create a draft, and here Gmail account, I'm just gonna select is. Okay, I have already created credentials, and resource is draft, create, and subject is gonna be the subject name, which is updated. So guys, there are two subject names, which is the first one is this and the second one is this. So you want to select from the updated row sheet because it is already updated. Now I'm just gonna drag and drop, and the text is gonna be, okay, email type is a text, and message is gonna be the updated body. All right, if I run it, so let me just open up my email. I can also add to or see BCC attachments. So let me just to reply an existing thread, specify the exact subject title of the thread. All right, cool. Let me just go to okay, all good. So let me just execute this step, and we have got the draft right here. So I should send to two information, which is I should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to N8N, and here we have the two email options. So okay, I already forgot. So here from the updated row sheet, I'm just going to pull the email and put it right here. And now I should click on execute step. And here I should see two more. So if I come here and refresh, and you can see the updated one, recent one, and with the email and without the email. So this is it, guys. This is automation, email automation. So this is how you do it. So let me know if you get it or not, so, and you can watch it back. And if you have any questions, comment down, like, hit the subscribe, and comment something nice if you get it. So with that said, let me teach you some more automations, which is really cool. Now the idea is, now what you learn from here, I just got an issue with parsing, right? Now even though I know how to do it, I just pretended like I didn't know it, and I just showed you how asking simple things to AI, sending screenshots and back and forth communicating with the AI model can really give you a step-by-step overview on what to do, and help you solving all the solutions. Because you don't need to go and watch the tutorial, find errors and go to the Stack Overflow to get the solutions. You can literally, the AI can help you right now. You can also use the AI assistant right here. But yeah, so this is how you do it. So let me just go back, and this is a feeding leads data to AI to generate personalized email and update into sheets and drafting an email. With that said, good luck, and yep, this is one of the sellable, and let me know if you get it or not, and this you can sell. If you want to know how to outreach and how to charge, then you can join my community, or you can book a one-on-one call with me. And with that said, let's catch you on the next automation. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this automation, I'm not gonna do any of the automations, but I'm just gonna brief you something really important, which is, so we have all this created, workflows. Right now you're familiar with workflows. Now you really need to know some of the important things, which is, I'm just gonna show you what it is. So here, if I click on add, and here the first thing I teach you is HTTP request. Now let me just click here, and here the HTTP request has some method. The first parameter, the first thing you need to know is attributes is get. Now here you can delete, get, head, options, patch, post, put. Now we're not gonna be using much of this, but we're gonna be using much, get and post in whenever we are creating some, back-end good automations, like long automations. But yeah, I'm just gonna give you a basic overview. Basically, HTTP request is whenever you input a URL, it goes there, it gets the information what's in the URL. So let's just say my website, right? So I'm just gonna give here my website URL, makemoneyraj.com. Let me just, okay, RJ. And here authentication, I'm just gonna put in none. And then if I click on execute this step, and here what happens is I'm going to get all the information inside the web. Now basically you'll ask me, what is this? Why is it returning the information? Now basically the HTTP request get method is nothing but what happens right here is the HTTP request goes to this URL. So let me just go to the URL. All right. Now since we are in the Chrome, which is why we are able to see this website. But N8N is just, goes through the data, right? So as you can see, this is data. Now it only reads the code. Now, if you ask me, where is this code? Now I'm just gonna come here and left click. And if I click on inspect or view page source, now this is all the information which is written by the N8N. So that's that. And we can literally use this data to manipulate. How, if you ask me? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back. Let me just go back. And here I'm just gonna put an AI agent. So let me just go here. Let me just copy this. Yeah, copy this entire thing. Since I already have this, let me just copy this entire thing. And what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm just gonna copy this basic LLM chain. I don't want that. Copy paste. Okay, I've got this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect both of these. Okay. Now we have got the information. So let me just go back to the HTTP request, and I'm just going to pin it and then go back to the basic LM chain. And here I have the data right here, right? So here I'm just going to prompt. So remove this prompt, and I'm just going to ask, please read the data, which is, I'm just going to drag and drop here, data, and please output the information as described below. Hit enter. I'm just going to open up the parameters, and here I'm just going to type here summary, and then the double quotes, and then comma, pain points, then the double quotes, and then comma. All right. Now if I open in a new, big window. So basically what I'm saying is, what I'm telling is, I have got the data from HTTP request, which is a website data. So take this data, I'm asking it to, whatever LLM which I'm using, please read the data and please output the information as described below in a format, which is, I want the summary of the data because I don't want to go through every single thing. I don't want to read all these things because it looks ugly. And then I want the pain points. Now that's it basically. So I'm just going to click on execute this step and should do the job. So it's executing the node. So let's just wait. Let me just cancel this. So basically this is a newsletter, and I think I should redesign this. It looks very bad. So let me just look at this. Okay, we have got the data right here, so I'm just gonna put it in a table or JSON. So this page promotes an online entrepreneurship training program titled, okay, cool, whatever, and purchases stresses digital products with no refund policy, and program position itself as beginner friendly. All right, cool. Now what we are doing is basically we are getting all the data from a particular URL, and then we are sending it to a AI and summarizing it. So that's that. I'm just gonna delete this. So let me just delete. All right, cool. Now the next thing what you want to learn is, so you already learned about the webhook. Now I want you to know AI. So I'm just gonna go here, simply click here, AI and AI agent. Now AI agent is awesome. Now this is something which we want, and this is something which will play around a lot of times. Now here, before I show you, I want to add something, trigger or chat module. So let's just go on and add here. But if we are not, since we are not creating any workflows, I'm just gonna let it be. Now you need to know something. An AI agent is nothing but it has a model where we can interact, which is like a UI, and then we have something called memory, and then we have something called tool to manipulate or play with, handle the data, right? Access or read or whatever tools. Now I'm just gonna go through one by one, which is the chat model. Now in order to add chat model, you can add any chat model. Now models are nothing but Claude, DeepSeek, OpenAI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Mistral. Mistral is oh my god, Mistral is really fast, but it's I didn't look at the API prices, how much it costs, but anyway, it's very quick, guys. You should use it. I already made a tutorial about Mistral, but yeah. And then we have OpenRouter, OpenAI, and I can also go here and tap try Qwen. Okay, Qwen is not there, but yeah, Qwen I can access through OpenRouter. Since I have OpenRouter API, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and back to canvas. So I have this. So since I already connected credentials, now you can see right here, and then I'm just gonna select free versions. So let me just let it be. Okay, all right, cool. So basically we have connected the chat model, which is some random model. Okay, now I'm just gonna show you without memory and with memory. Now memory is nothing but a database. I'm just gonna explain you, and you will see why you need memory. Let me just open a chat model, and here I'm just gonna type. So let me just once again go back, click on AI agent, and define below. Hi, how are you? How are you? Now this is without memory. I'm just gonna click on execute step. Problem running workflow, connected trigger to run this node. Okay, all right, fine. Chat, contest chat, and here I'm just gonna type hi, how are you? Now it's gonna execute the workflow, and it's gonna send me okay, we have got the all right, cool. Click on execute step, waiting to execute. I'm fully functioning optimal. What can I assist you with today? All right, cool. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back, and what I'm going to do is, so let me just go back and clear this. All right, I had some error. So what you need to do is, so I went on, hi, how are you? Hey, I remember the last message. Now what I've done is I clear the execution, right? So when I clear the execution, and you have no logs right here, since it cannot access the previous logs. Now I just ask, hey, did you remember the last message? Yes, I'm aware, but what did I miss last time? If I ask it, then it went on spitting some random things. Of course, John. I'm not even John. But yeah, in order to get the memory, what you want to do is you want to add a memory. Now if you click here, add memory, and you will get a for beginners, simple memory. Stores in N8N memory, so no credentials required. And we have MongoDB and then Motorhead, Postgre. So we have all these things, but yeah, so we just for educational purpose, I'm just gonna show you with a simple memory. And here we have something called context window length and then session key from previous node, and then we have got the connected chat trigger node. Now context window length is nothing but how many past interactions the model receives as a context. Now in order to be aware of the context, which means the length of file means the last 5 messages context aware. If you keep it 100, then it's gonna be last 100 messages context aware. But usually we wouldn't require more than 30 or 50, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm just gonna go here and put it as a 5 or 10. Now I'm just gonna go back, and here I'm just gonna again type here. Let me just click. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna type hi. Who are you? And what model are you? Just gonna open the chat. Okay, I need all the information. Hi, what model are you? Now you can see the memory is updating right here. So you can look at the actions right here. So I'm just gonna remove this. In the logs, you can also see all these things. I don't know why it is taking time. I think I might have maxed out OpenRouter's credentials. I mean, calls, API calls. It's okay. Let me just change the model. Just stop this thing and go to the OpenRouter and change the model to DeepSeek. Where is the DeepSeek? Okay, all right, cool. Let me just go back and let me just hi. As you can see, this is going, even though I deleted the logs, it is going for the previous message, which is, hey, did you remember the last message? Okay. Okay, leave that. What model name are you? What AI model are you? It's taking time, too much time. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna hide this thing. So this is, adding the memory, and so we have another thing called tool, which is you can experiment with a bunch of things. So as you can see in the previous automation, I did something which is adding a tool called structured output parser. Now here from the get row sheet, I was getting the data. So let me just open up. So I was getting the data. Okay, I couldn't execute. All right. Now I needed the data to update to the row in a sheet. Now in order to do that, I needed a subject has a separate JSON and also body has a separate JSON. In order to do that, I needed to, whatever the data it has, it came merged in a one JSON. I need to separate them. And for that, I use the tool called structured output parser. So that's that. Let me just stop this because I think I maxed out the API keys. So it is even showing the error. I don't know why it is showing the error. The operation was okay, cool. Anyway, so this is about AI agent and you can do a bunch of things. And one more thing which I want to show you is if I click on tool, you can also, do the model context protocol MCP client tool, which is really popular. And you can do a bunch of things, guys. Now if I scroll, calculator, bubble, Bitwarden, Clearbit, Cloudflare, and then Dropbox, Facebook graph. You can also post content and access. So you have too much of tools for the AI agent, which you can combine and make it very powerful in automations. And with that said, so let's look at some automation which we can able to perform, creating a wonderful AI agent. Alright guys, this is gonna be some if condition statements. So let me just give you an overview of if and merge triggers. Now it's very crucial whenever your workflow have decisions to make. I'm just gonna give you a simple let me just grab this to the side and zoom in. Okay, cool. Now let's just say let me just open up the whiteboard. Alright, while it opens, so let me just put some edit fields. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a manual trigger. So let me just grab this thing. Only when manual trigger node is allowed in the workflow. Okay, cool. Where is the manual trigger? Let me just delete this. Delete, and then okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a manual trigger, which is drag and drop. Okay, where did it go? Okay, all right, cool. Now we got the manual trigger. So and then whiteboard. Let me just select the pen. Cool. Now let's just say you have the data called name equals to RAJ. Now I want to put a condition right here. If the name is RAJ, then I should send an email called, the subject line should be RAJ. U1, let's just call it U1 $10. Now if the name is something else, so let me just think of a name. So if the name is Sahil, then the subject line should be Sahil $5. Now something. But yeah, I want to put a condition right here to the name. Now how are we gonna do that? So let me just show you how we're gonna do that. Now here you want to, so let's just say manual trigger and click here, edit fields. Just type in an edit field, and here I'm just gonna paste it. Now the input is gonna be manual mapping JSON. Yep. The field name is gonna be the name, and here I'm just gonna type RAJ. So let me just remove this everything else just to keep it simple, and I'm just gonna remove the comma right here, and then click on execute step, and then we have the JSON right here. Okay, so we have got the output. So let me just pin the data and then go back to the canvas, and here I'm just gonna add something called as if condition, which is if I click here, if I type in an if, and we get the conditional flows right here. We have if, we have switch, and we also have something called merge, which is really important whenever we are putting a conditional statement and we want to merge data of multiple streams. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you the if thing. So let me just click here, and if the value, right? Now in the previous data, I'm able to access the name variable. So I'm just going to type here. So drag and drop. I can drag and drop whatever the value I want to, compare it to. So let me just take this and drag and drop here. Okay, cool. If the JSON name from the edit fields is RAJ, okay, then if the edit field is RAJ, now if I scroll to the right, you can see something called as true and false. Now this is like the when we manual trigger, this executes, and whatever the output we are getting then it goes to the if statements, and if it is true, then we can execute this node, right? We can execute this. Now, if this is true, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, click on add, and here I want to send a Gmail draft. So I'm just going to type in a Gmail. Oh my god, what did I type? Why did it come here? So I'm just going to click on plus icon and then type here Gmail, and I want to create a draft. All right, now let me just drop this. Okay, I'm unable to get the data right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the if condition, and here I'm just going to click on execute, and here I'm just going to pin the data, table JSON. Convert types when required. If the type or expression doesn't match the type or comparison, N8N will try to cast the booleans. Node parameters have changed. Test the node again. Okay, click on execute. All right, cool. So let me just go back, and here, so let me just take the Gmail, and here I have got the if condition name. So what I'm going to do is we have got the data right here. So Gmail, I have already added the credentials. So what I'm going to do is I want to drop the email. So here I just want to create an email, and the subject line is going to be, I'm just going to drag and drop right here, Raj. So JSON.name, U1 $5. Okay, so it's going to be the subject line. And then the message is going to be something like, hi, you won $5. Please reply to this email. So this is going to be the, so let it load. Why is my system lagging? I don't know why. So yeah, if I click on execute, then it's going to execute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and I can literally, so this is I'm just showing you, but here you can add submission form submission, and compare it with the if try and play with the if condition flows, and then if the form submission name is something else, then it should go to the then it should create a draft for specific specific name, and if it is false, then it should go and do some other action. Now you can do a bunch of stuff. So this is a basic overview of if trigger. All right, so that is what I'm trying to explain to you right here. You can also use something called as filter. So we have so many things. So let me just click on filter, and you can also filter, you have a bunch of options right here. You can also add the condition, and you can use and, or, and you compare it. It's like a boolean expressions, which is really great whenever we want to run a loop, and then we want to test a different output formats. So whenever you're creating a real life example, then it's gonna you're gonna come across this and you want to use it. So this is just how the if works. So it's really important for you to know, for me to teach you in this full tutorial. So with that said, I hope you understood what this if and filter, and you even have the merge. So let me just delete this, and let me just copy this and paste. And so let's just say we have two different emails, but I want the data, I don't want to create like this. Okay, I don't want to send. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply come here and click on plus icon, and I'm just going to type here merge, click on merge, and just go back to the canvas. And here you can literally connect all these two emails, input 1, input 2, and then you can continue creating a workflow. And you don't have to separately create another workflow for this, one more workflow for this. You can literally merge the workflow and then keep on continuing the workflow, because you just need only here the if statement, right? But the rest of the workflow is same for both of this. So really, You will come across this, okay? Whenever you require, you will come across this, and just know this how this functions, right? With that said, I hope you learned something. So yeah, so let's see the next automation. All right, the last thing which I want to teach you is something called loop. So let's just say I have manual trigger and I have something called data, okay? Some data is passing through. Now let's just say I want to run it 2 times. So in that case, what we're going to do is type here, click on add and click create loop. And once we do that, now we have the batch size. So batch size is going to be 1 input at a time. Now if you do that 2, then it's going to be 2 input at a time. So I'm just going to keep it 1 because I have only 1. Now I can also do, let's just say we are passing 128 items, right? In order to, go through one by one, we're going to use the loop. And then here we can do, so here it just says replace me. Now we're going to, let me just zoom in. So here what we're going to do is we will have some of the workflow. So at the time, now I'm just going to delete this. So let's just say while looping, I want to, let's just say send a Gmail draft, right? So create a draft. All right, cool. So let me just go back and here. So while looping, it pulls the one item from the edit field and creates a draft. And then again, we want to connect this to the loop. That's it. So let me just delete this thing. And once it's done, so you can, keep on continuing the other workflow. And not only that, you can also write an entire workflow right here. And once it is done, once it went through all the items, then you can have the end statement, end execution. In this case, I'm just gonna put here. So let's just say add it to the sheets, right? Up and update the row. All right, go back to canvas. So yeah. So what it means right here is, so whenever executed, it goes to the whatever the data. In this case, I took the edit fields, and then it goes one by one at a time. If you want 2 at a time, you can also go and increase the batch size. And then once it goes and executes the workflow for each item, and then it goes after it's done, then it is updated to row in a sheet. That's it. Now you need to be good at identifying the JSON format, so you can go and read the JSON documentation, JavaScript object notation, in order to get better at it. But anyway, if you're practicing, then you'll for sure get better at it. That's it. So I want to talk to you about the last thing which I want to talk to you about in this full course is the pricing. So I have the Hostinger aside and then N8N pricing section right here. Now if you look at the N8N pricing section, the starter, pro and enterprise, here, for the starter you can see 2,500 workflow execution per month with unlimited workflow and steps and users, and you're paying $20, 20 pounds per month. All right, and then you have 5 concurrent execution. Now executions is nothing but, if I go back, let me just go back, go to the overview, save. So executions is nothing, leave without saving. Yeah, executions is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what they mean. You have 5 concurrent executions and then 200 workflows in the sense. Now these are the workflows. I mean, you can create as many workflows. I mean, you can create 2005 workflows, but execution in the sense, we are turning this active. You can only turn active 5. But yeah, if you go to the upper plan, which is a pro plan, now you can see 10,000 workflow executions and 20 concurrent executions. But if you go to the Hostinger and go here for the, if you go under the services, and here under the services, if you go to the cloud, VPS and self-hosted, and you have something called self-hosted N8N, and click here, and you can see the plan right here. It ranges from $5 to all the way up to $20, and you can run unlimited workflows, unlimited concurrent executions, which means you can create as many workflows as you want, and you can also turn on active as many workflows as you want. And then you can put in a queue mode, and you will get 100+ pre-made workflows. And then it's easy to serve. Onboarding is very easy. I have done it, and I do it for my clients. And you can also it will be very quick, depending on the what the RAM or the plans you're going to get. So I prefer going for 16, or I think 8 GB RAM is fine. But if you have clients like 100 plus, then it's you can go with the enterprise plan, or you can go with the $20 plan. And by the way, it's costing you, the higher version is costing you same as the N8N starter version, which is a £20 per month, which is really cool, and really a deal breaker right here from Ossinger. There'll be a link in the description, you can check that out. And with that said, this is full course N8N. I hope you learned something, and with this foundation knowledge you can do literally anything. I mean, you can literally scale or customize. I have taught you everything what you needed to know as a beginner. Now if you want advanced, then I have some message for you. Congratulations, now you reached a checkpoint where you are prepared to go out there and sell automations to business owners. Now there's a catch here. You see, a lot of people are constantly selling their AI automations to business owners. They are constantly pitching the AI automations to founders. And if you want to follow the path, I'm happy to tell you, go and try, but you will be just one of thousands of DMs or inboxes whom they ignored. So I want you to take you to the next level. In order to do that, I want to put you in an isolation where I can teach you one-on-one, which is why I created a community called Sell Automations, where you will learn everything I did to get to your first automation client. And you will also have access to 100+ sellable automations which I done for my previous clients with tutorials. And these are not N8N templates. These are not from N8N Templates page. These are created, customized, and tested out in a real life production. And also, every time I build a successful sellable AI automations to my clients, I'm gonna upload a video with automation template JSON format in a community so that you can quickly grab and sell it to your business owners or clients. With that said, the world is yours. Catch you on the next one.